Consider a court case of high importance. The crucial witness is connected to a polygraph machine. There is a collective intake of breath as the needle begins to move. We are transported back to the year 1971 to a case that reverberated through the nation. A person of high profile was under intense scrutiny, accused of a heinous crime. The evidence was mostly circumstantial and the case was delicately balanced. The prosecution introduced a polygraph machine, a formidable tool. The movements of the needle would determine the destiny of the accused individual. As the questions were posed, the needle oscillated with a life of its own. Each fluctuation a silent dialogue between the machine and the witness, a narrative of honesty or duplicity. The tension was palpable, the stakes were elevated. The polygraph, also known as a lie detector, has been a staple of dramatic courtroom scenes and police investigations. But what is the origin of this machine and how does it function? The polygraph test, in its current form, can trace its roots back to the early 20th century. The progenitor of this fascinating device was William Moulton Marston, a man of diverse talents, including psychology, law, and comic book writing. Indeed, the same Marston who created Wonder Woman also developed the polygraph in the 1920s. Marston's original machine was relatively rudimentary, primarily gauging blood pressure as a means to detect deception. However, it was in the 1940s that the polygraph began to assume its modern form. Enter John Reed, a lawyer and psychologist who introduced the control question technique, a method that compares responses to relevant and control questions to distinguish truth from deception. Over the years, the polygraph machine has evolved, integrating measures of sweat gland activity, heart rate, and more. From a simple blood pressure test to an advanced piece of technology, the polygraph has undergone significant transformation. So what drives this machine? How does it purport to differentiate truth from falsehood? Fundamentally, a polygraph test operates on the principle of monitoring our body's involuntary responses. These physiological responses include blood pressure, pulse, respiration, and skin conductivity, all of which are postulated to fluctuate when a person engages in deception. Let's probe further. When you are connected to a polygraph machine, numerous sensors and electrodes are affixed to your body. These are designed to register even the slightest alterations in your physiological state. For instance, the pneumatic tubes around your chest and abdomen monitor your breathing rate, while the blood pressure cuff gauges your cardiovascular activity. The galvanometers affixed to your fingers, on the other hand, monitor your skin's conductivity. This is particularly intriguing because our skin becomes a more efficient conductor of electricity when we are anxious, a result of increased sweat production. The science behind these measurements is compelling. The theory is that when a person lies, it induces a certain level of stress. This stress then triggers a fight-or-flight response in our body, leading to these conspicuous physiological changes. However, it's crucial to understand that the polygraph does not directly detect lies. Instead, it observes these physiological responses and leaves the interpretation to the examiner. The polygraph operates on the principle that a lie induces a certain level of stress, which triggers these physiological responses. In the contemporary world, the polygraph remains a tool for truth-seeking, albeit not without controversy. In present times, polygraphs are utilized in a plethora of settings, from law enforcement agencies to security screenings, and even in television shows. They serve as an investigative tool to verify statements in criminal and civil matters, and they are also employed in pre-employment screenings, particularly for sensitive government positions. However, it's not entirely straightforward. The accuracy of the polygraph is a subject of ongoing debate. Critics contend that the test is predicated on an unproven theory and that it can be manipulated. There are concerns about false positives, where an innocent person is deemed guilty, and false negatives, where a guilty person is deemed innocent. Furthermore, concerns have been raised about the potential for misuse of the polygraph. For instance, it's been argued that the polygraph could be used to coerce confessions or to infringe on personal privacy. Despite these criticisms, the polygraph test remains a widely recognized symbol of truth verification. It's a testament to our enduring quest to distinguish truth from lies, a quest that has been a part of human history since the dawn of civilization. Whether it's an infallible lie detector or a flawed machine, the polygraph certainly occupies a fascinating place in our history and continues to stimulate our curiosity.